And that's one thing about The Invisible Man also, like they liked messing with people in the original 30s and 40s movies from what I was reading up on. What's up, YouTube? It's another quarantine episode, a sequel brought to you by Driveby Movies. My name is James.
My name's Blaze.
And this week I am sequelizing The Invisible Man. We just got it from Blumhouse a little recently, and where are we going to go with the sequel? That's what we're here to do for you guys. We already know with Invisible Woman that Elizabeth Banks is directing. Not sure if that's going to bring back Elizabeth Moss, but I wanted to bring back Lee Winnell for a sequel if I was in charge of Universal, and I wanted him to redo the script based on the story that I personally created. I'm a huge fan of the Universal monster movies. Blaze, like it's still something that you're still relatively like newer to, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yeah. So The Invisible Man, I kind of did some research just like on the original ones. I know that there's actually a lot of sequels to it that I never really got around to seeing. There was an Invisible Woman sequel spin-off movie back in the 40s. But there was The Invisible Man Returns, The Invisible Man Revenged. There was also like The Invisible Agent at one point, which was a World War II like propaganda movie. But it was based within the Universal Monster universe. So it's been around for a while. I had no idea about those sequels, and I love the Universal Monster movies. But one thing I always loved was how they would bring up like certain aspects of the previous movie, but each sequel was like a standalone movie whatsoever for the most part. And so with mine, I kind of want it to be also a standalone movie where it kind of has nothing really to do with Elizabeth Moss's character. The only returning character I'd like to bring is James, who is played by Aldous Hodge. He was the guy who took in Elizabeth Moss. I want this movie to start kind of where it left off, where detectives are solving the mystery of what happened to this first Invisible Man. Mm-hmm. And just out of nowhere, though, all the cops that are there at the scene, unfortunately, James himself, are going to get killed right there. An invisible person is there. They take out everyone, and they're taking evidence, essentially. My movie, I wanted to focus on a rival who kind of was involved with the creation of the Invisible Man suit that we saw. And I want that to be played by Dan Stevens. I thought that he'd just be a cool, like he kind of is in the same age range, and we love the guest here at Drive-By Movies. I could just see him being a sadistic businessman who is out to just get this technology and stuff, is upset by being double-crossed, possibly. We could go into further than that. But my main character, I wanted to be played by Logan Marshall Green. He's the detective trying to solve this. He knows that it's everyone involved with this original company that built the technology for this suit. He's trying to track down the people who are involved in that first creation of it. He's getting in touch with the families, but they're all being picked off one by one, and it's him just trying to solve this mystery. And I really want to bring back like the action aspect because we only got one scene of that. So essentially in the bigger aspect of it, that's why I want it to be a lot more detective like scenes, a lot more detective scenes where maybe like the Invisible Man takes out like a SWAT team that is involved, and just like him just trying to solve this huge bloodbath of like all these families being taken out by Dan Stevens. So I thought he'd be a cool person to bring for this monster universe, and that's pretty much my story. Of course, Invisible Man has to be taken out, but then you have to leave room for a sequel. The suits, like there's multiple versions of these suits. Like there were multiple protocols, and that's going to be the theme of the movie. Like it wasn't just one suit made or two suits made that we saw in the first one. That there were so many creations going into it, and that's what I'd like to build upon, where there could be multiple Invisible men and women for the future movies.
Definitely. And I like what you did there, bringing Dan Stevens into the mix, because I definitely think that he could bring like this cool aspect. I feel like one of the vibes that I get from the original Invisible Man is that the character was very much in the movie and not just, this title character, where in this version of the Invisible Man, he's not, the main character in the Lee Winnell version. He's just kind of like this, impending doom essentially that, is thrust upon the main character, Elizabeth
Right.
Moss. So seeing like maybe that play more with like, who the Invisible Man is, you kind of know what his, objective is, that he basically wants to, dispose of all evidence, kind of keep this optics suit under wraps, but at the same time, like maybe, exact revenge and bring back those action elements that we didn't quite get in the first movie, because it's definitely more of a horror movie. I think it's a great option for the second film to be more of, this action, not necessarily adventure, but just action packed like thriller.
Yeah, I think for most part, like my biggest inspiration would be going to Lee Winnell's film before The Invisible Man was Upgrade, and of course that's why I wanted to bring Logan Marshall Green as the main detective trying to solve this. And yeah, Dan Stevens, like I said, he just has a sadistic look that we saw in The Guest, but he's a charming face to where you don't think there's anything wrong with him, and so that's why I just thought he'd be a fun character to explore. He enjoys being seen, and that's one thing about The Invisible Man also, like they liked messing with people in the original 30s and 40s movies from what I was reading up on. I've seen the original 1933 version, but with the sequels, I guess, he liked to mess around with people, and some of the murders could be pretty gruesome and crazy. And I like Dan Stevens at times to, be visible, enjoy being seen, enjoy having conversations with the people he's messing with, and trying to seek revenge on for, being double crossed from our original Invisible Man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely think you could bring back those elements, like you said, from the 30s movie, but also kind of explore what we think made, this most recent movie that we talked about in our review of that, which you can watch on this channel in our fresh releases video playlist. But definitely, I think one of the things that really made this movie tick was how effective they made and like spooky they made. The fact that there's somebody there, but at the same time you can't see them. And I think we had talked about this is like the perfect quarantine movie to watch, because what if someone's in the room with you while you're watching it?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my idea. I mean, I would see it as a tight 90-minute fun action horror film where it's just like, it's action, but it's extremely gory to where it makes you look away at times. A lot of like knife killing, just coming in out of nowhere, and a lot of broken bones that we saw in the original just kind of built up on some of those scenes, but just, times it by 1,000 for a sequel, because that's where I'd want to go with this. Like, I liked what I saw at the first one. I'd like to see more of it, see that fun aspect take over.
That's going to be it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you want to support the show, the easiest way to do that is by watching The Invisible Man in the Amazon affiliate link in the description box below.
After doing that, let us know what you thought about the movie. Also, let us know what you thought about my idea for a sequel. You can leave a comment, let us know, and we're happy to check it out and respond. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to get all our latest updates.
Tune in next week, guys, for a brand new sequel.